don't follow your intuition without your mind. Here's the good and the bad of the things that I've learned and how it led me to accomplishing everything my intuition told me, but also getting me in a very uncomfortable financial state. So I just want to let you all know that throughout my lessons, what I learned of like how you can still follow your intuition, but use your mind as well, and how you can do it practically and not put yourself in unnecessary situations. Emotional, disoriented, lost in emotions, but snapping myself out of it, then getting lost in the emotions again, snapping myself out of it. Sadness, hurt, gratitude, focus, progress, and then taking a couple steps back, getting lost in a thought that came from replaying some past event that triggers me. Then the emotions, the waves take me away. But then snapping out of it, I got shit to do. I have to focus. So it's been the push-pull between not letting my emotions wash me away from what I need to focus on to move forward. I want to document this because today is the day that Neptune and Saturn are the closest that there will be for a while until next year or at the end of this year. So Neptune in Aries is conjunct Saturn in Aries. Or is it Saturn in Aries is conjunct Neptune in Aries? So this whole like the structure of things, or needing to create structure or to have structure in different areas of our life, things that hold things together. Maturity, responsibility, stability, our duty, the duty to, is, so we may be feeling part of that, or at least I know I am, of like, I know what I have to do, but this Neptune is making me so, it's blurring the lines because I feel so out of body. And I have to keep reminding myself to get back, like, focus. But I just want to escape. I want to escape it all, but I can't. It's blurring. It's blurring. It can. Yeah, I just feel. Yeah, a blurred sense of what I need to focus on. Blurred sense of the structures that I need to build or what I need to take seriously. Because my mind, but then also one end of like being in dream world, being in dreamland, like not wanting to focus on your responsibilities, but having to. But it just seems so much. I don't know. Just feels like. I honestly felt like at some point that was crazy. Like feeling crazy because you're feeling like two different parts of you. The side that wants to escape it all or is unclear about things. And then the other part of you that like you need to be fully present to do the things that you need to do, but like how do you create structure? I don't know. There's like, could it even be like, I don't know, I'm hearing the word like dissolve of structures or just an unclearness of like what. I don't know. Just, yeah, anyways. So anyways, alright, I'm gonna meditate. Also, today's a full moon, so in the sign of Capricorn, which Saturn rules Capricorn, so definitely on top of the like emotions of like the season. So I'm finally here doing my spiritual practice. Finally, this is one of the things that I had set for me to do this today, and just because I've been like floating away from my responsibilities because it's like I know what I have to do, but then getting lost in the way and having to refocus myself. So, alright, I'm gonna do that, but first let's hear a little bit. I don't know how well it's gonna pick up. Okay, so that felt good. Alright, so yeah, I'm gonna set a 15-minute timer for myself. 15 minutes, yeah. And I'm going to do my meditation or sit in silence so I can hear my inner guidance. Because I've just been getting lost in everything else outside of having to like commit to sitting down and hearing it myself. Like, meaning myself because like, I don't know, I've just been like watching a lot of videos and getting lost on social media and getting lost and even looking at astrology, like seeking the answers from outside sources and not even meaning to, but like, you know, you can kind of get lost. And I'm like, all right, let me just sit here and like here. This is the source, you know. And I've been like avoiding this because this feels like work. It does. It feels like work having to sit for me because it takes a while to settle my mind and then just sit and be patient and then also have to like face what comes up. So it's like, you know, all of that. So but I'm here, finally. Okay. I shall be back. Don't follow your intuition without your mind. Here's my story of starting my spiritual journey, choosing to be intentional with following my intuition. Here's the good and the bad of the things that I've learned and how it led me to accomplishing everything my intuition told me, but also getting me in a very uncomfortable financial state. So I just want to let you all know that throughout my lessons, what I learned of like how you can still follow your intuition, but use your mind as well, and how you can do it practically and not put yourself in unnecessary situations. So, if you've been following me for a while, and I've documented my whole journey, so if you guys want to see the story, but I started my spiritual journey a couple years ago. Was it a couple years ago or last year? Yeah, a couple years ago. I believe it was in 2023. And the last thing, I documented my journey on here. So you guys, if you followed me, I posted a video when I started working at a metaphysical store, not the one that I work at now, but the one that I worked at before, the first one. And I started working there, and I was working at the front desk, but I also was working as a social media marketer, so doing kind of both, or social media person. And it was a really amazing experience, as you guys know. Like, that's where I developed or started my spiritual journey. And just, I learned about women's circles, I learned about practitioner work. I just fell in love. I felt like I had found like my home, my space, my true calling. And I also got like aligned with astrology. Even one of the practitioners told me there that I would be doing something with astrology at the time that I did. I just like so many amazing things like happened. That was the start for me. But although everything was great, I ultimately just I didn't know my like worth. Like, I didn't know how much one is supposed to get paid for social media work, or what you could get paid, or the standard of pay. And so it was just me. I didn't have a team, so I was the only social media person. And I over time was struggling financially because I wasn't making enough. And I felt like I was doing a lot. I had my hands in a lot of things, because I was working up front and working as, and I just had a lot of responsibilities, and I wasn't getting paid my worth. And but I still stayed because of the, first, me not knowing, like, being educated on how much I actually could make. I mean, I could have looked it up, but also, I mean, I enjoyed my job, for the most part. And then my grandmother, who I love dearly, R.I.P., love you, cookadoo. She got sick with leukemia. I documented that journey, and I had to go visit her. And I visited her the one time, then I visited her another time, and in that time she passed away. And when she passed away, she left money behind. And I got some of the money, and I remember feeling weird about it because I've never had an inheritance before. I was like, I didn't care. I remember telling my grandmother's boyfriend at the time, when he told me that she left money behind and everything, I was just kind of like, I didn't care about the money. I just wanted her back. Obviously, like most people, I was just like, didn't even care or think about the money. But so I remember him sitting me down and saying like, she would have wanted you to like use this, and like, it would be good for you to use it, because both of them knew I was trying to, or I had an idea to start my own business. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't really know exactly what, but I have been talking to her and him about like doing something with spirituality and astrology, hosting women's circles, giving readings, just something around those lines. And he was like, I think it would be a good idea for you to take some months off to really like, build your dream and figure out what you want for or build, your business or on your business. So I did. And I actually ended up quitting my mother job, because it was stressful. I mean, there's other stuff that I just feel like it's maybe not the most professional for me to talk about, but it just wasn't a healthy environment for me to be in on one end for other stuff. And then once again, I was underpaid and overworked. So I just kind of felt like, when you're on your spiritual journey and you like see things that are aligned, or you're like learning about synchronicities or connections or signs or openings, it just felt like at the time God, the universe, whatever you want to call it, was like telling me like opening doors for me to give myself a chance or try or at this or see. So I did, but I ended up actually not just taking. So I was unemployed, and I was just kind of like trying to build this business. So let me pause really quick. So let me give you guys a little bit of background. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but I've been on YouTube for a while. For any new people, I've been on YouTube for a while. Since 2016, I developed a big following. That's why you guys probably see a big following right now, because back then, a while ago, like 3 years ago, 2016 to whatever, I really, like, I did hair content, I did beauty, like hairstyles, and just kind of like loving yourself naturally videos, and wash days and all that stuff like that, self-care when it comes to like your hair, and and that like was a successful time for me. I like made money through monetization, my ads, and then I also made money through like working with brands. But something that I haven't really like talked about is because I didn't make that much money from a lot of my videos. I've probably said it in a few of my videos before, but I didn't make that much money that I could have, because a lot of my videos ended up getting copyright, because of the songs that I use, which is ironic because the songs that I use, like, people would talk about it all the time, and I used to like take so much time looking for those songs. Like, my songs, it was like the vibe, like it was so intentional for the videos. If you guys, it took a while, but it was sad because all of those was copyrighted, and there was an option for me to like put another song, like a YouTube song, replace her, but it just felt like, I don't know, I was just like, it would change the whole video, because like the video goes with the music. So at the time, I wasn't really thinking about the financial, like, it will make sense if I'm going to get paid from all that work. But I just, for so long, I didn't really, like, value or care about money that much. Or, it's not that I didn't, but it was like, it doesn't matter, Which, that's cute on one end, but not the most practical, if you're thinking long-term of, like, if I was thinking long-term of, like, I spent so much hard work on those videos, like, I do deserve to get paid what they're worth, and if that meant like replacing the song, then that was a whatever. But so pretty much most of my videos, like, I don't get paid that much. I've had videos hit millions of views, but I like don't even get paid as much as you would. Like, it's so like barely nothing, to be honest. So, I mean, at this point, definitely, like, barely nothing. Like, nothing, pretty much, I would just say. Like, I don't really get paid. Like, I don't even, yeah. So, that. And then also through when I was at the height of my YouTube career, meaning, like, making the most money, I didn't save it. I was so not good with my money management, and I didn't save it. I was living paycheck to paycheck, and was not, didn't save. Um, and so I pretty much did all the YouTube stuff and ended up with, like, even though it was an amazing experience, I have the portfolio, I have the, I've met amazing people, was able to impact that, and just, it was an impactful thing. Financially speaking, I didn't have any return on that. And, but I had to, which is something I had to get over on myself. But I realized that I always have this as a portfolio, just for if I wanted to apply to any jobs, I could at least show that I'm capable. So I think, and yeah, so anyway, so that, okay? So then that makes sense as to, like, me going into that one job and once again not having any, like, money, like, saved up, or not having, I'm pretty much starting from scratch. And you guys know my journey. Like, I purposely did that, because I could have kept going with my YouTube channel if I would have stayed on top of the things that I knew brought like, views, and that's my hair stuff. But you guys know, if you've been following, you know that I kind of, like, fell out of love with it. Not that I didn't still like it, but I was something in me, like, I wanted to, like, be able to talk. Like, I knew I was more than just, like, hair content and beauty content. Like, I really have always loved, like, psychology and, like, being a counselor or a therapist or, like, giving advice. And I knew that I am on a soul level, I was meant for more. So yeah, I kind of rebelled and just, like, stopped. Or it didn't go like that, honestly. There was just so many other things happening in my life that, yeah, that just happened. It was a natural transition between, like, anyways, I'm trying to stay on track because there's just, like, so much. So that, okay, so I went to the metaphysical store. I decided to leave, and I used the money that my grandma left for me. But I ended up using, long story short, all of it. Because I wasn't working for, like, 6 months, if I remember correctly. So I was using them, because, once again, not having money saved up, and, like, even from the job, the metaphysical store, because I wasn't getting paid, not even enough to have savings. And yeah, there would be times that I tried to save, but then, like, would have to go back into my savings for whatever and other stuff like that. So yeah, but then had that, but then was, like, I think I overextended. It would, if I look back on it, it would have been, like, a little bit, like, wiser to take a couple months off to get something building, and then get a job, and then, like, put that money in the savings, and I'm blanking out here. And then like, still, like, build my business while I have a job, and then have, like, savings that that I didn't even, like, work for technically, but I was, like, blessed enough to, like, receive. But I didn't. I pretty much, like, was super ambitious in trying to honestly, like, I thought if I, like, went really hard on, like, trying to build this business, which was Healthy Girl Healing right now. At the time, I thought it was just gonna work out faster than it did, and long story short, it didn't. Because and anybody that owns a business, I remember talking to my cousins about it and telling them, and they were like, Jess, like, if you would have came to us, we could have told you that there was no way you're gonna, like, grow a business to the point where it's able to pay, like, for you, make a living and do your business. Like, I was being overly ambitious and not realistic. But it was, like, in the back of my mind, I'm on this journey, and I'm like, but my intuition, I didn't tell them that, but I was just like, but my intuition. And I think that was another thing, because I was so inspired by this spiritual journey and following my intuition. I was like, but my intuition tells me, so I know I'm going to do it. And people don't understand because my intuition. But here's the thing. I've learned that because when you get intuitively an idea to do something, the intuition is for the idea, not the timeline. So when it didn't work out, I had this like frustration between like, well, God, like I followed it, what I was supposed to do, but it was like, well, we didn't say like completely just forget about your responsibilities, and like you were trying to do something and rush it. It was like, no, we put that on your heart because that is aligned with your path. That is what you're supposed to do. But that's gonna take time to build, and at the time I just had to learn that. So I ended up having to get another job, and then I started working for the metaphysical store that you guys know about that I work at, and I was just social media. It's funny because I applied as a part-time job because I still wanted to have like time freedom to work on my business, but then have something that just pay my bills or whatever. But I applied as a front desk person, but ended up doing the social media again. And that opened up amazing doors. Like you guys know, I was able to like do my in-person women's circles, and also become an actual like practitioner there. So pretty much, once again, the little intuition that I had that started, or that like that first initial intuition a couple years ago of like, you are meant to do something with spirituality and astrology, to now like starting off doing virtual events and building audience around that and getting comfortable with like putting myself out there as like an intuitive practitioner and astrologer, which took time. Like that was a whole journey. And then like getting comfortable with marketing myself, which still not that comfortable, but that's a journey. But getting better with that but having to also learn more about marketing through my jobs and like putting, really like all of that. And then through the experience, and I'm trying to remember what I'm saying because it's just a weird today. The astrologically speaking, today is where Saturn is conjunct Neptune. I think it's Saturn conjunct Neptune or Neptune's conjunct Saturn, which can cause like a little bit like, and it's conjunct my moon in my second house, actually, about finances. So this is actually really aligned. Actually, this is so aligned for me to be doing a video about like where I lacked responsibilities with my finances when I was maybe two. But then the Neptune part is like doing something spiritual but still having to like be responsible. So wow, perfect timing. But like the lines can get blurred when like Saturn is conjunct Neptune, because on one end you have like to handle responsibilities or build structure or have duty. There's a duties to like do what you have to do or be smart or wise and responsible or whatever. But then you have this like this dreaminess of this like, or wanting to do like the spiritual side of things. So it's like kind of blurry. The lines can be blurred. But anyways, so yeah, and emotion, and because it's conjunct my moon, I just feel like kind of like just disoriented is the best way I could describe it. So, but yeah, what was I talking about? So yeah, I started working this job, which opened up so many doors, and ended up doing like expediting like what I didn't even think I was going to be hosting in-person things until like later on, but I was able to have the opportunity, and everything was great and amazing. But unfortunately, like, which actually is what happened last time, in my last job, is like I started off with so much passion, and then eventually started to have like the passion just like, imagine a big fire and the fire just getting smaller and smaller the longer you work there. And by the way, for me, being passionate with what I do is a requirement. Like, I can't work a job that I'm not passionate about. Because I'm not good at faking stuff, and it's just something within me. I just can't. sometimes I wish I could, because then I probably could just work any job, like that pays high, and be okay with it. I don't have to be attached to it. I'm just there to make my money. But that's just, everybody's different. And I know something about me is that I have to feel passionate about what I do, because I take pride in my work, and for me to do my best, I have to actually like enjoy it and be passionate in it. So that's just me being self-aware, but sometimes that comes with like being on a more different route that I, like now, or having to do things not in the most like normal way, like meaning kind of like having multiple sources of income, being an entrepreneur, being okay with like ups and downs financially, which will be fine, but it doesn't help. It would be fine. It actually would work out well if I knew how to manage my money, and it's okay, because I'm learning now, or have had to learn. I have no choice at this point. With after all the like past mistakes that I've made, now all like here, putting me in a chokehold. So yeah, that's where I am right now. But I actually am needing to get another. But anyway, so yeah, talking about the passion, but the passion started to go down because I started to realize I was doing a lot. Or energetically, I felt like overwhelmed with everything that I needed to do, or just overwhelmed. It's just that, like, that birdie in my ear was like, you're not making enough. And it was multiple birdies, actually. But yeah, the thing of like, you're not making enough, and you're working, you're trying to, and also I was losing stamina for like building my own thing. Like, I have my Patreon, I have my healthy, and it was like, why can't I get that up and running? Like, why? What is the block here? And it was like, because I didn't have enough energy to like, because I was struggling financially, like, and it was like, it was just like, it's like, no wonder if I'm trying to like make enough money from, if I'm already getting underpaid, and I'm already dealing with the stress of like work, and then maybe dealing with the stress of like not having enough, like being super tight financially, and then just the like guilt and regret of like, and not even, those are things I had to heal from, so I have no regrets or no guilt, because it was my journey. And it's not my job to question the whys. It's not even, there's no point, there's no point. I went through all of that, being hard on myself, crying my tears out, like crying, just all the things, but it really is like, I have to move forward. So it's like, I can't like dwell on the what ifs, or I shoulda, coulda, wouldas, and all this stuff like that. But yeah, so but yeah, but still, that intuition was like it's still like, I still, but then it was like I was getting, but once again, it was hard, because on one end, although I wasn't growing as fast as I would have liked to, when it comes to like my women's circles and my readings, like they were progressing. They're progressing slowly, and doors keep opening up. So I keep getting like green lights for that. Like, don't stop it, but you definitely need to, like, you're at a point where you're not even going to be able to have the energy to grow that if you don't like handle this massive thing that you don't want to look at, and that's like your relationship to money. Why do you keep accepting less than what you worth when it comes to like even the places that you work at? And it was just like, that's had to be a big thing that I had to like look at, and that like I had to do a lot of like healing around like my money relationship with money, and like, why am I not like those people who like don't, who just know, like they wouldn't even accept a job that they knew that it wasn't, and why do I, but it's like, I can't say that, because I also don't regret going into the jobs that I'm blessed to work for those companies, because they're the reason why I am here right now. So it's like, part of me is like, so this is where the disillusionment, because it's like, everything that I am is from where I worked, but also everything that I am is from where I worked, when it comes to like the good and also like the struggle parts. But then also it goes back to me. And that's where I had to take the responsibility for me, because I could point my finger at everybody else, but it's like, But also, like, I could have been managing my money well. Also, I, could have been, like, putting myself out there or trying to have, like, there's other ways I could have, like, done, like, things. So it's like I have to take the responsibility and just face the facts of everything. So I guess I just wanted to tell you guys that, and I'm kind of, like, brushing over so much because I was, like, trying to figure out, like, how much details do I want to tell you guys, because it's like, I obviously, like, for me, I wanted to be vulnerable because I want to show you guys, like, what spirituality, like, being on a spiritual journey, and also, like, applying astrology to your life, how does that connect to your real life, and, like, I wanted to show that, and that means I have to be vulnerable about my journey, but I also am a private person, so it's like, how can I be vulnerable in private at the same time, or have, like, boundaries around, like, certain things, but I think that was good for me to, like, share. The only thing I want to say is, also, I learned a lesson through, like, how it's important to be, like, self-sufficient, as a in general as a person. Like, it's okay to, like, have, like, help outside of you, but you should never be dependent on any help outside of you. You should always make sure that you are able to take care of yourself no matter what. And that's something that I learned, and I really, and when you start to learn that, then you start to see the value in, like, saving, and see the value in actually, like, having a job that pays you what you're worth, so you can have room to, like, pay your bills, and you have other room to save, and you have extra to, do whatever you want, experience, enjoy life, nothing's tight, and, you just are building for yourself, because you deserve that for yourself, but then that also just helps everything else in your life, so I'm just learning that too, and these are really, it's really, but also I just want you to know that if you are experiencing my situation, then you just can't be hard on yourself. There's no point in you looking back, although I know it's so hard, and, like, things can replay in your mind, or triggers could happen, like, you can get triggered outside of you, or, like, you just may get triggered, or whatever, or things may replay, but you gotta just, like, block that out and be like, no, like, I'm not, that's my past, I'm moving forward, I forgive myself, I'm moving forward, and at the end of the day, I don't have any regrets, because, like, if I didn't do that, if I didn't go and work at those metaphysical stores, like, I wouldn't be able to, like, even right now that I'm, like, building and trying to, get my portfolio, I have to put a digital portfolio where I have to show my work, and I have to show the analytics, and I have to show, like, the proof of, like, my impact at working at these, with the metaphysical stores and stuff like that, and even me looking back on it, it's like, wow, like, if I didn't stay for this amount of time, I wouldn't have had this to show, and this, like, that. So it's like, once again, on one part is, like, dealing with the realities of the mistakes, but then realizing that the quote-unquote mistakes, or just, like, certain things, like, everything just seemed like it was supposed to happen the way it was supposed to happen. And this is where I go back to, I did a video my last video, I said something in the lines of, like, how I'm so scared because I felt like I've been, like, in this place where I'm losing so much, or it feels like things are holding on by a thread because of the mistakes I've made in the past. And I remember editing that video to repost it as a clip, and thinking in my head, when I kept saying lose, like, I'm losing, I was just like, that doesn't feel like the right word, because it felt like it in the moment, like I was losing, but as I'm now connecting the pieces as to, like, yeah, it sucks that I had to learn the lesson. Yeah, like, could I have, like, done so many things differently, blah, 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 but that would have probably changed so many things, and it's just like, if I believe that everything happens for a reason, which I know, I have to trust the process. and I just can't be hard on myself. And then I have to take the lessons, because I don't know. I tell myself like maybe I was meant to go through all that, and I won't know now. I mean, I still kind of already seen, like I said, about like how I'm going to be able to get any job that I want now, because I have now built the credentials to do that. So, and I wouldn't have done it if I didn't have that experience. And I have to be honest with myself, like, even though I grew a YouTube channel to however many, whatever, having a YouTube channel, being a content creator is different than being a social media marketer or social media person for a business. And I thought they were the same. But no, I had a lot of learning and a lot of growth, so I could not even have worked, like, no. I did not have I had a lot of things to learn. And thankfully, because I worked at a smaller business, they were able to, like, accommodate or be, like, flexible, or I mean, once again, we're all learning together, type of thing. So, yeah, I'm just blessed for the opportunities that came from those jobs, and I'm so happy and grateful for the owners, both of the owners there, because they are the reason that I am. They're a part of the reason why I am where I am right now, and I will always love and, like, appreciate them for being a puzzle piece on my journey. And yeah, so and also helping me, to see, because it's not their fault that they weren't able to, like, pay me what I'm worth, or just pay me, because smaller business have certain budgets, and it's just different, so it's like I'm okay, and I'm happy and I'm grateful to, like, have left them in a good space, or, like, left whatever I was meant to leave behind for them there. And then I can, like, now happy to know I left with the knowledge that I was meant to give, and so I can, like, move forward. And still, like, I'm still working for my, like, heart, soul, and art job in different ways, but I definitely am going to be, like, transitioning into, like, something, like, new. So yeah, that was, wow, I don't know why I made it seem like that was such a big deal. I guess I just want to let you guys know, like, it's okay to follow your intuition, but don't be irrational about, like, how you go about it. Meaning, like, if you know that you are not happy in the job that you're at, don't quit your job. Like, another thing I get pissed at, because I feel like people don't talk about the behind the scenes. And part of me actually felt guilty, because I didn't tell you guys, and it wasn't like I was doing it on purpose, but I didn't tell you guys a valuable piece, or people, when I was talking about my spiritual journey, and, like, I'm going to follow my intuition for a year, I didn't let you guys know that I had this inheritance. So that made it easy or possible for me to, like, quit my job and, like, do that. And people don't know that. And I feel like people don't talk about, like, when people say, like, oh, you're not happy, like, quit your job and do that, because they don't tell you the details. Like, you should not just irrationally quit your job if you don't have money saved up, or, you may have to sacrifice, like, go stay, if you're okay with going to stay with somebody or live with your parents or whatever, like, it takes, like, you don't need to be irrational. Your intuition, when something comes up, it's not a timeline. It doesn't mean now. It means, yes, you can start working on it, but it doesn't mean, like, completely be irresponsible and, like, let go of your responsibilities, because at the end of the day, guys, we still have to live and survive in this, like, real world. As annoying as it is, as annoying as bills are, and the whole, like, setup of this world or America or whatever. I mean, I'm grateful for, like, the whatever, but yeah, like, the opportunities and, like, the freedom as far as that we have, but yeah, we do have to pay bills, and, everything is, like, high and all that stuff like that, so you have to really be, like, smart with, like, your you have to use your mind. And that's where I was like, I completely, like, let go of my mind of, like, okay, using your intuition, but being practical. So the practical part would have been, like, Jess, like, yes, you got this inheritance, but at the same time, I can't, because everything happened for a reason, like, I can't, but yes, do I know from now on that, like, as much as, like, for me, I have been really trying to like rush this growth with my Healthy Girl Healing because I don't want to work. I want to be an entrepreneur. I don't want to work for anyone else, and I know that that Healthy Girl Healing is going to be an amazing like it's gonna grow, and it's gonna get to the point to where I'm able to help other people and also receive the same support by like that being like sustaining me, and being able to allow me to live my dream of like continuing to help, and like, making a living. But I know that's gonna take time. It even says it in my astrology chart. Like I have so much like the area in my life that rules like your dreams, fulfilling your dreams is the 11th house, and like groups and women's circles, all that stuff like that. And that it's in the 11th house. And my 11th house is ruled by Capricorn. But anyways, also there's something else that I haven't. This is something I'm gonna have to talk about in another video. But on a side note, when I talk about astrology, I just learned or went into the deepest dive in Vedic astrology, and I'm just shooketh. I'm so like, that's another part of my disorienting with astrology, because now one part of me thinks about Western and one part of me thinks of Vedic. And in the Vedic astrology, I'm a Capricorn sun in the 12th house. So it's pretty much like my 11th house stuff, my jam-packed 11th house, is all now in my 12th house. So anyways, either way, though, it aligns, because 12th house is like spiritual work behind the scenes, all this stuff. So I don't know, it's just like, but the point is, anybody with a lot of Capricorn means that you're going to have to work your ass off for a long time for you to get the results. And I know, and I've seen that, but it's like the Aries moon in me, or, well, see, I'm an Aries moon in Western astrology, but then in Vedic astrology, I'm a Pisces moon. So either way, both could be a little delulu when it comes to Aries, thinking it could get quick results, and Pisces meaning it can like, the problem is not wanting to do as much work, and like being in like, not in like dreaming, but not doing as much. So both can apply. But yeah, it's like that. So yeah, I just want to tell everybody, just be okay. So yeah, essentially my intuition was right, because I have now created this like vision that I've had. I am so blessed to like for everything that I like. I just feel really blessed, and I thank everybody who was a part of the process. I thank my grandma for believing in me, and like, even though I could have used that money, like, I could have had my cake and ate it too, or whatever, like, meaning like utilized it in like a better way, like not getting, but it doesn't, but I can't say that because, I lesson learned around that. But at the end of the day, I still used it, and I'm happy because now I was able to like, because, even within, like, I took like classes and like learned a lot, because I really wanted to like be good at this, I wanted to take it seriously. So once again, lessons learned from that. But, and everybody around me, the people in my life, who you guys are, that has helped me through like advice or just all of that help, whether it was financial or if it was like just help, knowledge. And I also want to apologize to all of anybody that was involved that may have felt like disappointment in like just the way I went about things, or just like being stubborn. I think that's another thing, because I was very stubborn with like, I'm going to do it my way. You guys don't know my intuition. I'm on this spiritual journey. People don't get it because they're not on it. But it's just like, yeah, it was like, girl. They may not get the vision, but they also, like, when it comes to living in a real world, the practical things is like the things that need to be done, like proper money management, savings, having, getting, paid benefits, like having health insurance, all these extra stuff are still things that are important. And I guess when I was on this, like in the beginning, I'm just like, you can be like on this high of your spiritual journey of like, people don't understand, but at the end of the day, once again, we still are humans, we're not we have to mesh the two worlds, spirituality and the physical realm. Unfortunately, like just like being doing what we have to do. So, um, especially when you're on the start of the journey and everything like that and all that. Okay, I was editing and I realized I missed something. I was being really general about who I wanted to thank, but I really want to just be outward with it, and that goes to like me being private, I guess. But it doesn't. I just want to thank my boyfriend for being there with me along the journey, and he's completely opposite from me when it comes to like, I am the creative, spiritual, girly with all these like the free spirit, the do things different type of person, and he's literally like the structure, the person to like snap me into reality, and like completely amazing with like finances and everything that I didn't necessarily like grow up like with. And you know, he has been a part of the journey, and so I just want to thank him for all that. He has just being there with me through it all. So yeah, that was my story, and I just wanted to like, this was a part of, because yesterday was the full moon, and I just have felt in my heart like I needed to like tell you guys this experience for me. I honestly am surprised I'm saying it as like normal, but I've like rehearsed this and had to tell so many people this. So at this point, I guess I'm just like used to talking about it, and I'm just like, well, I'm freed. It was kind of, yeah, it can be embarrassing and all this stuff like that, but honestly, like since this transition, like other doors are opening already, and I just feel really excited. And going back to the loss thing where I said I have a lot of losses, or I feel like things are hanging on by a thread, it's like I had to tell myself that I didn't lose. Whatever is leaving my life is meant to leave my life, you know? And I have to just like know that whatever stays in my life is meant to stay, whatever leaves in my life is meant to leave. So, you know, it is kind of like sad to like, you know, when you like even jobs, like, you know, it's like you would have wanted the jobs to stay with you and you could still do other stuff, but it's just like, yeah, like knowing that I'm gonna have to, even though as much as I love Heart Soul and Art, and once again I'll still be working there, but like I won't be able to like be fully, as you know, I'll have to put my focus on another thing. There's guilt around that, you know, there's other stuff, but it's just like I have to put myself first, for once. Like I have to at this point. Like, once again, my finances are putting me in a chokehold. Okay, and I'm 29, and you know, my Saturn. I just finished my Saturn return, and Saturn is in my second house, which is all about money, finances. So I have to learn the lessons, or you know, it's gonna get even more rough for me, which I don't know how that's possible. I don't even want to see that. Okay. Well, actually, I'm still blessed. Let me not say that, because I'm still blessed. I have a roof over my head. I have a car. You know, all those things. So I'm really grateful for that. I do not take that for granted. So yeah. So I just wanted to also end off by reading, because every full moon is the completion of a 6-month-long cycle, which started with the new moon in Capricorn. So this is a full moon. So we have to understand the full picture of the full moon. We need to look back on the new moon and see like what started in that. Please tell me I wrote something. Okay, I did. Okay. So I said, new moon intentions. I want Healthy Girl Healing to be a successful business that provides me financial security and stability for the rest of my life. Okay, well, we're getting there, girly. Definitely not there yet, but it does. I do make money from it. Like I am making, you know, I charge for my services, which is great because that's a part of my like self-worth. That's something that I had to, even still to this day, because I like I want to give it for free, but I also need to like know that I am actually like helping people and like providing so much value within those spaces that yeah, that doesn't benefit me. It's like me giving readings for everybody else. I mean, obviously I enjoy it, but you know, it's not like for me in that sense. It's like me providing a service. So that give and receive of me providing a service and then being paid for it is exactly the aligned energy that is like what everybody should be doing. Just like you go to work and you give your service and you get paid for your time. So so yeah, it's we're building. I said I want to be happily making more than enough money so I can afford pretty much everything. Like I'm able to afford my bills, I'm able to pay, have extra money, all that stuff like that. Well, yeah, well, I said I want to collaborate with like-minded souls and grow together. I want to have genuine friendships. All right, thank goodness. Whew. All right, we have that. Okay, let me just tell you guys. Okay, I can say that I have friends now, guys. I have friends. I am so happy. I'm so happy. I have friends now that I actually am proud to call my friends, and they actually inspire me to be better. I look at them, and I've always said I want to have friends who are either doing better than me or who I can learn from. And I have those, and I'm just so happy and grateful for. So, wow, that also helps me to show up, because with my circles, I felt a little weird. I was telling you guys, it was I want to be the service provider, but if I'm in there, looking for friends, even though, once again, if it naturally happens, great, but, I had to, figure out, my place in that. So now I go into the circles as, I am, full, I'm whole, I'm not, I'm thankfully, once again, I still want to make new connections and everything like that, but, I feel full, and I'm able to provide, guidance and help, and, I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm just happy to say that, okay, I have friends now, and I didn't really back then, or it was very unclear, or whatever. So I want to be healthy, fit, taking care of myself, make enough money to, okay, that was it. I want to happily, yeah. Oh, I said I wanted to grow HSA, yeah, Heart, Soul, and Art. Oh. Hosting virtual and in person. Okay, so I'm doing that. I'm doing that for sure. Oh, I said I want to be self-sufficient. Well, I'm being forced to do that. That's for sure. All right, I had a lot of goals here. Okay, so I'm learning. Okay, so when I wrote in my journal about what I'm releasing, I had to say I'm releasing the biggest thing, and I talked about this in my women's circle last night. I said I wanted to release the need to be perfect. And this is something I've been talking about for so long, right? If you've been on my channel, me on this journey, and if you watch my videos, honestly, it's showing my journey of letting go of perfection. And that means turning on the camera and just venting and being okay with how it sounds, and not focusing on so much perfect edits, and because I'm showing the realities of life, and life doesn't look pretty, and it's not beautifully edited, and it's not this fake stuff. And me even today, knowing I really need to tell you guys how I feel. I have to tell you guys the real of my journey, so I can show up authentically, because it just didn't feel right knowing that this big lesson that I learned on this path of me trying to follow my intuition but not doing it in the most practical way, or losing the other piece of the team, which is, yes, your heart, your feelings, but you also need the practicality of your mind as two teams. You cannot have one without the other, okay? So having to learn that, wow, okay, this is an interesting card that came out. But yeah, so yeah, having to learn that. And actually the 10 of Pentacles came out reverse. Alright, so also, like I said, I'm releasing, that's what I was going to say, letting go of the disappointment of because once again, another thing with Capricorn is wanting to fulfill all your goals. And me, there is a part of dang, I had all these goals, and I could be hard on myself of that I didn't reach them in the timeline that I wanted to. but I've made progress, and I'm really happy about that. And I learned a lot. I know why I haven't. Once again, like, I understand. I know I need to put myself out there. I know I don't market myself enough. But now things are happening in my life that are opening up. Like, I definitely know that, like, think, life is funny. Life is funny. And I know that's been my biggest block. So as I have all these opportunities come, it's just forcing me to show up more for myself and put myself out there. And the only way I'm going to put myself out there is I have to let go of the need to be perfect. I have to. I just have to. So, Ten of Pentacles reverse, meaning, well, I'm just kidding. Well, it's just kind of like the Ten of Pentacles upright is like you're at your most like successful financially, like value-wise, like you feel very like stable, and you got all the success. But in reverse could mean like that for whatever along the way, like you're not like there yet, or there's like blockage, or even maybe internally you may need to like do some work internally to like get yourself there. And for me, once again, I know it's because I don't market myself enough. Like, I know that I have the tools, I just don't use them on myself. And now that I am a practitioner at Heart, Soul, and Art, and I also, so yeah, this could definitely just be like letting go of like expectations, or like, this makes me feel really good, because I feel like whenever the card that you receive, even if it's reversed, there's potential for you to get there. There's work that needs to be done for you to get there. And like I said, I know the work for me is, number one, I need to get another job that pays me my worth, so I could, like, let me stop saying if it pays me my worth, but yes, it pays me enough money, the money that I, because being a social media marketer, I could make good money, but, however route I want to go, but a social media person, because I'm thinking more of like, perhaps like a social media strategist or a social media consultant, because I think the biggest problem that I had with like trying to do a social media job and then also trying to do social media for myself, it was just like draining to manage both. And I think for me, I'm realizing my strength is seeing the vision, being able to look at a business and be like, this is what you're lacking, this is where the problem is, and this is how it can be improved. And if I look back on both of my jobs, I was able to see like the missing puzzle pieces and give them the puzzle pieces, give them the tools, so now they're able to like flourish without me. Like, meaning like they could like, honestly, like I wouldn't even mind like giving advice to the social media people, or being a social media, I thought about being a social media marketer, but it's like, I don't know how much, like I can do the work, I can do the filming, I can do the editing, I can do all that, but like that's where I burned out before. And yeah, maybe because I wasn't paid enough, but I also feel like if I do it, I need to be able to be in a team place, so I'm not like doing everything myself, so just like learning lessons here. So yeah, that meaning like I need to get a job so I can like be freed from the weight of the financial chokehold that I have, so I can have the energy, because I don't have to worry about finances, and I can be better at my savings and all this stuff like that. And then also putting myself out there, marketing my own self, and doing it consistently. Like I need to have like, every month I need to like post about like the events that I have, and I need to post about my readings, and so I know those two things are the main things, and I'm just really grateful for all the lessons, and like I said, for all the people in my life that have like helped me, even though, once again, whether I was stubborn or not, or I had to learn the hard way, just I just am grateful. And it's important to have like people around you, and once again, everybody has to learn at their pace, but just like don't take advantage of the people that are there for you, and and like, but yeah, don't be hard on yourself about the mistakes, because like if you ask any successful person, they've made so many mistakes, and that's a part of the process. So letting go of the past, and focusing on what I'm doing now and moving forward. And yeah, I hope this helps anyone out there that could relate to anything that I said. And be smart. Once again, follow your intuition. Always follow your intuition, but never neglect your mind, and don't do it in an irrational way. If you're not in the place to. If you're in the place to, then go as a free bird. But yeah, just have a plan. Think long term. Be smart. Sending love.